What if you are aging faster than you think? Not the normal, gradual kind of aging that comes with the years, but the kind that sneaks up on you quietly, driven by everyday habits and choices, making your body look and function older than your actual age. Most people never connect the dots until the damage has already piled up. Here is what makes this worth paying attention to. Premature aging is not just about wrinkles or gray hair. It shows up in your joints, your hearing, your immune system, your brain, and your energy levels. And for most people, the causes are things they are doing or not doing every single day without realizing the cost. Today, we are going over 7 silent signs that your body may be aging faster than it should, and more importantly, what you can do about each one before the damage compounds. The first sign is written all over your skin, and the most common cause is something most people spend time actively seeking out: sun exposure. Now, before you dismiss this, understand what is actually happening beneath the surface. UV rays from the sun do 2 things that accelerate aging dramatically. They break down collagen, the structural protein that keeps your skin firm, smooth, and elastic, and they trigger an overproduction of melanin, which leads to dark spots, uneven tone, and patchy pigmentation that adds years to your appearance. Here's the part that surprises people. The damage is not just the thick, leathery skin that everyone associates with too much sun. UV exposure can also make skin go the other direction, becoming thin, fragile, and prone to sagging. Either way, the skin stops looking like it belongs to your age. And 10 minutes of daily sun exposure is genuinely enough to get your vitamin D. Anything beyond that is more risk than reward. A broad-spectrum SPF applied daily is the single most evidence-backed anti-aging step you can take. The second sign is something people tend to brush off as normal: stiff, achy joints showing up earlier than they should. Joint stiffness is expected in your 70s. When it starts appearing in your 30s and 40s, that is your body flagging something. Chronic inflammation driven by poor diet, physical inactivity, excess body weight, or unmanaged stress can wear down joint tissue ahead of schedule. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic have noted that inappropriate pain or discomfort in younger adults is a genuine red flag for accelerated physical aging. The good news is that joints respond well to movement. Low-impact exercise like walking, swimming, and resistance training keeps the tissue around joints strong and reduces the inflammation that speeds up degeneration. Sitting still for long periods is one of the worst things you can do for joint health regardless of your age. The third sign is one almost nobody connects to aging until it is too late to reverse: gradual hearing loss. Most people assume hearing loss is something that happens to older adults, but the damage that causes it often accumulates over decades, starting much earlier than the effects become noticeable. The tiny hair cells inside your ears that carry sound signals to your brain do not regenerate. Once they are damaged, that damage is permanent, and the sources of that damage go well beyond rock concerts and construction sites. Lawnmowers, vacuum cleaners, movie theaters, boat engines, and earbuds turned up too loud all contribute over time. If you notice you are asking people to repeat themselves more often, that certain conversations in noisy environments are becoming harder to follow, or that you are turning the volume up higher than you used to, these are early signals worth taking seriously. Protecting your hearing now, with earplugs in loud environments and keeping headphone volume in check, is how you preserve it for the decades ahead. The fourth sign catches people off guard because it feels emotional rather than physical: hair that is thinning or going gray earlier than expected. While genetics play a role in when this happens, chronic stress dramatically accelerates the timeline. Here is the biology. When you are under sustained stress, your hair follicles shift into their resting and shedding phase much faster than normal. Hair falls out more rapidly, and the regrowth cycle slows down. The same stress hormones that drive this process also interfere with the pigment cells responsible for hair color, which is why significant stress events are often followed by noticeable graying. The practical takeaway is that stress management is not a luxury or a wellness trend. It is a biological necessity. The effect of chronic stress on your body ages you in ways that are visible and measurable, and hair is one of the first places it shows up. That brings us to the fifth sign, which is the most invisible but arguably the most consequential: what chronic stress does to your immune system and your brain. Research has consistently shown that the hormones produced during prolonged stress age both the immune system and brain tissue at a measurable rate. People who experience chronic stress have higher rates of memory problems, are more vulnerable to dementia, and show more cellular damage within their immune systems compared to people with similar lifestyles but lower stress loads. Chronic stress also drives up blood pressure, which puts sustained pressure on the cardiovascular system and accelerates the kind of arterial wear that is typically associated with much older adults. Your body under constant stress is a body running hot, burning through its resources faster than they can be replenished. Sleep, regular movement, and deliberate recovery are not optional additions to a healthy life. They are what prevents your biology from aging ahead of schedule. The sixth sign is one that most people already know is bad for them, but rarely connect directly to aging: poor sleep. And we are not just talking about feeling groggy or unproductive the next day. We are talking about what happens inside the brain during chronic sleep deprivation. One of the brain's most important jobs during deep sleep is clearing out metabolic waste, proteins, and cellular byproducts that accumulate throughout the day. When sleep is consistently cut short or disrupted, that waste builds up faster than the brain can clear it. Over time, this is one of the key mechanisms researchers have linked to accelerated brain aging and increased risk of cognitive decline. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night is not a guideline for people who have the luxury of sleeping in. It is the minimum maintenance window your brain requires to stay biologically young. Protecting your sleep, limiting screens before bed, keeping a consistent sleep schedule, and addressing anything that disrupts your rest is one of the most powerful anti-aging decisions you can make. The seventh sign shows up on your face, but starts in your kitchen. A diet high in sugar and refined carbohydrates is one of the most direct drivers of premature skin aging that exists. Sugar triggers a process called glycation, where sugar molecules attach to collagen and elastin fibers and make them stiff and brittle. The result is skin that loses its bounce, develops fine lines earlier, and looks dull and tired. This is not a theory. Multiple studies have confirmed the link between high sugar intake and visible skin aging. On the other side of this, diets rich in fresh vegetables, fruits, and antioxidant-dense whole foods provide the raw materials your skin uses to repair itself and fight oxidative damage. The difference between a diet that ages your skin and one that protects it is not complicated. It comes down to how much processed food and sugar is in your daily routine versus how much whole, unprocessed food. So here is where all of this lands. 7 signs that premature aging may already be underway. Sun damage quietly degrading your skin, joints stiffening earlier than they should, hearing loss accumulating in the background, hair thinning or graying under the weight of stress, an immune system and brain being aged by chronic pressure, a brain missing its nightly maintenance window from poor sleep, and a diet feeding the aging process from the inside out. None of these are inevitable. Every single one is influenced by choices you make on a daily basis. And the earlier you start paying attention, the more of your biology you get to keep working in your favor. If you want to understand more about the specific foods and daily habits that protect against premature aging from the inside, that is exactly the kind of information that compounds over time. Start looking into it. Your future self will have a lot more to thank you for.